You're listening to The Hit List with me, Numi, and I'm joined by Joe from Sigma. Hello.
Hey, how we doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I've just come back from getting my teeth, my Invisaligns finished, and they're looking very straight and clean, and I'm very happy, I have to say.
Oh, so you're all done?
I'm all done. I'm not gonna lie, they're looking pretty good. They were so wonky and like yellow for ages. I'm just quite happy that they're looking so fresh because I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, so I'm just getting ready for that, you know.
Just like I've got to get sorted for the photos. Some people, they go on extreme diets and everything. You're like, teeth, it's got to be the teeth.
Yeah, the teeth. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So anyway, should we talk about some music?
Yeah. Not where I thought this interview was going to go straight away. Yeah. So you've just released your second album called Hope. 6 years in the making. How does it feel to have it out?
It feels, you know what? It feels like a real weight off my chest, which is nice. I think, it's like you said, man, it's a culmination of like 6 years worth of long, hard hours in the studio. Yeah, man, and just a really nice moment to kind of pinpoint in our career, and just looking forward to pushing on with this journey.
Was it like a natural progression for it taking 6 years? Do you think that time was kind of needed, or was it kind of unexpected? You thought it was going to take less time, and it's like, oh, it's been 6 years.
Yeah, you know what? Like, time kind of flies, firstly, and secondly, I don't think we were in any rush to even like put a body of work together. And we just would put a tune out, and then we'd be like, we should probably put another tune out. And there's a lot of back and forward with the label, but obviously the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And I actually got really quite unwell with COVID for a little. Well, that was like what kind of pushed me over the edge for a while. But I ended up with like really like it was quite a long time. It was like a year. I was really quite unwell.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you've probably heard of it. Like people say about long COVID.
Yeah.
So I had that, which really wasn't helpful because we were trying to get things boxed off. But yeah. So. And obviously all of that stuff going on, and then before you know it, the pandemic's gone, and it's another 2 years, and we're like, cool, well, finally we can release some music, so it's great.
Has the album transformed a lot over that time, like how you thought it was going to sound at the beginning to how it sounds now, or was it kind of a natural evolution? Obviously,
when you create a body of work, ideally, you'd like to do it all in quite a short window and then just release it. The reality of the dynamic of where we've been at with our record label is it's been very much more like single by single basis. And sometimes there's a little bit of friction when it comes to try and get releases out. So for us to get a body of work together that they're going to be happy with releasing, it was quite tricky up until a certain point. So I just have to say that it's no shade on them because they're just doing their job at the end of the day. Sometimes that's just a dynamic of relationships. But yeah, man, we're really happy that it's finally come together. Yeah, man, just hope you guys are enjoying it.
What have you felt for the reception so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Like, really good feedback. Streaming numbers are crazy, which sometimes it kind of baffles me, man. I'm looking on the counter every day, and I'm just like, wow. I swear the album, in terms of like tracks, has done, I think we're on nearly 300 million streams or something. It's crazy. That's just on Spotify.
Yeah.
As well, so, yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Is it ever like a pinch me moment where you're like, oh yeah, this is actually my job and people actually listen?
Like, I literally, yeah, it's actually crazy. I do what I love, and I sit, and yeah, I'm happy. I'm very content.
You can't live any other way, can you? Like, you can't top it when I feel similarly. Like, I absolutely love radio presenting, and almost every day driving to work, I'm like, wow, this is my life.
I've got to say, you're pretty good at it as well. You're very natural.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, stop it, my ego. So your new single, Give It To Me, from the album, featuring ZZ and Kelly Kiara. How did that collab come about?
So, if I'm being honest, there've been lots of different versions of that song that I've worked on. The first one was with a girl called Amwin from Sweden. For some reason that didn't happen. I don't know why. And then we did another version with Kelly that was quite a lot slower.
Yeah.
And eventually there was a version, and this is just between me and you. You might not even be supposed to be knowing this. We did a version with KSI actually. But
wow.
But what happened with that version was he wanted to do a different version to what we wanted to do. So then we kind of said no, and we just went, nah, we're just going to do this one instead.
Have you still got those?
Hot off the press.
I know. I'm like, oh, a juicy exclusive for us. Have you
But
still?
let me tell you. So let me pause you there for 1 second.
Yeah.
ZZ is way sicker.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So forget about that KSI. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
I was just gonna say, like, if you still got that demo, you could just like. My hand slipped.
Yeah, just accidentally drop it out there on social media. Yeah.
It's obviously samples, Busta Rhymes and Mariah Carey. I Know What You Want.
Yes.
How did it come about? Were you working on stuff and then you're like, let's use the sample? Were you just listening to that song one day and thought, I've got a sick idea for this?
You know what it was? It was just the energy of the instrumental I was working on when we were doing the session. And I think Max, the songwriter that I work with, he's very switched on to kind of picking up vibes. And it felt a little bit like that. And he was like, oh, you know what, that could be quite cool. And then it just came from there. And obviously, like, the additional kind of parts that we added to the verses and the choruses, because of that kind of raunchiness of the vocal, you know, like just before where she's saying all that kind of like a little bit sexy stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, some of that.
Sprinkle more of that. Sampling is really big at the moment in dance music and pop music, and I really love it because I love all of the originals as well. It's so nice to see them get like a little 2022 refresh.
You know what? Like generationally, that just seems to be happening. Like I swear, like even for our generation, all those new tunes that we thought were new tunes weren't new tunes, were they?
Yeah, I actually the first memory I have of this was is it Chain Reaction by Steps?
Oh yeah.
I remember being like, oh, I really like this. And my dad was like, this is a cover. And I was like, no, it's not. It's Steps. and then he introduced the idea of covers to me and it changed my life.
You're like, how dare you?
I was like, how dare you besmirch the name of the Steps band? I was on just scrolling through your TikTok this morning and I loved your drum and bass remix of Adele's Easy on Me. I thought that slapped.
What? I'm here. I'm holding my hands up in the air, imagining myself playing it to the crowd because they love it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
If you could do a D&B remix of something that came out this year, what is there anything that you're listening to where you're like, oh, I've got to get my fingers on that?
Oh, there's nothing off the top of my head actually, but I'm sure if I dug a little bit, I'd be able to find something. I feel like there's nothing's coming to mind, unfortunately.
It's that thing, isn't it, where someone I used to have this with like doing radio outside broadcasts. You'd be like, right, I got to play some songs. You'd go up to the system and you'd go, I have forgotten every song that has ever been released.
Honestly, man, I'm so bad. Like when people ask me questions, they're like, what was that then? Who did you do that with? And I'm like, I know the person really well, and suddenly it's not there.
Yeah. Well, you've released a lot of music. It's a lot to remember.
Maybe just getting a bit old. You know what I mean? Could be that.
What's your favourite song on the album Hope?
My favourite song on the album Hope is, I would say actually, I know it's a bit of an older one, but Find Me, like for me, it's just a real moment, and we were so fortunate to be able to have collaborated with Birdie.
Yeah.
And also the girl from Stranger Things.
Millie
Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
To get her in the video. And I don't know if you saw recently, but they used it on an Armani campaign, which was fantastic. So yeah, man, that for me was a real moment. I would also, I really like Hope as well as a song.
Yeah, I love that.
It means a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, particularly where we are right now, it feels like that kind of thing is quite important. So yeah, they're a couple of my favourites.
So we're well into festival season now. Where's your favourite place to perform? Like country, city, festival? My
favourite place to perform is my two favourite festivals to play at in the UK are Reading and Boardmasters.
Yeah. So many people say Boardies because it's just special, isn't it? It's
mad down there, man. Like, it's the location for starters, obviously if there's nice weather. But then on top of that, I think it's because the people, you know, like surf dudes are a bit like, they like to have it. Yeah. The energy is just crazy.
Yeah. You're performing at Silverstone for the F1 Grand Prix. That's correct, is that like your first time going?
Yeah, I've never actually been to the Grand Prix before. Cam's been to it a few times, but yeah, it's me this time. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to going and hanging out. Maybe, you know, rub shoulders with a little bit of Lewis Hamilton. I don't know, see some other celebs, and it is really not that I actually watch it that often, but it has to be one of the coolest sports, doesn't it?
Yeah,
the F1.
If they asked you to do a lap in one of the cars, which one would you choose?
I mean, my heart says Ferrari, but my head says Mercedes.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I would probably. I am a I am a Mercedes gal, so I think I would be loyal.
What's your whip, man? What are you pushing?
I drive an SLK.
Ooh,
yeah, 3.5.
3.5 litre engine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fancy.
So it goes. It's really old. It's like from 2004, but it's like the fastest go-kart you'll ever drive. It's amazing.
Honestly, I can imagine. Like, I've had so many of them Mercs. Like, I had some crazy ones, and they're fun. They are.
Steering's so tight, so easy to drive. You can just have fun in them.
Yes,
all right, we're going to move slightly away from car chat. I'd like to play a little like quick fire quiz type thing on the hit list. It's called Hit or Miss, and I'll just throw things at you, and you tell me whether it's a hit or a miss for you. Early mornings.
Hit.
Can you do like a late night gig and still wake up early?
Oh, probably not, no. No, I will, but obviously it depends if there's been alcohol involved.
Yeah.
But either way, actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, no. For me, early mornings is great, though. I find it's good for the soul.
Yeah. Pineapple on pizza.
Hit?
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sweet and salty.
For me, sweet and salty always wins.
Roller coasters.
Miss. Oof. That's for me. It's too much, man. Why? Why?
You're like, put me in a Mercedes, but roller coasters, no.
It must be because I'm a bit of a control freak. Do you know what I mean? I'll quite happily do a maximum of 70 miles an hour, of course.
Of course.
On the motorway.
Of course.
But yeah, when you put me on one of them roller coasters, I'm like, I start feeling like I'm gonna throw up, and it's not pretty.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. We'll let you off. Post night out kebab.
Chicken sheesh, because I'm on a health tip.
Nice. Yeah, you got to get that protein. British summer.
Is usually rainy, but at the moment it feels really nice. So
Yeah, it's been not bad. And 2022 so far.
Definitely a hit. It's been actually exceptional.
There was a pause there.
It.
I was really worried which way it was going to go.
No, there was no pausing. 2022 winning.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to play your single. Can you introduce it for us?
Yeah, sure. Hey, this is Joe from Sigma, and this is our brand new single, Give It To Me.